A 70-year-old mystery may finally be solved that involves tons of gold and jewels stolen by Nazi thieves.
Did you know that treasures and secrets from World War II are still surfacing around the globe today? From secret chambers brimming with amber and gold to elusive submarines and ghostly sunken battleships, these discoveries unveil the enduring mysteries of a global conflict. Join us as we explore the 15 most incredible finds from the war that changed the world. Number 15. Amber Room. To start on the right foot, first we have the Amber Room, which was a famous room known as the Eighth Wonder of the World. It was created in the 1700s for King Friedrich I of Prussia and later given as a gift to Peter the Great of Russia. This wasn't just any room, it was a piece of art filled with large panels made from amber, gold leaf, and mirrors. The room took over 10 years to build and was covered in amber, making everything glow with a warm, golden light. The Amber Room was placed in the Catherine Palace, where it amazed everyone who saw it. Its walls were lined with 6 tons of amber, set into beautiful designs that caught the light and made the room shine in rich gold and honey colors. However, everything changed when World War II started. In 1941, Nazi soldiers entered the Soviet Union and took over the Catherine Palace. They knew the Amber Room was very valuable, so they quickly took it apart and packed it into crates. They moved these crates to a city called Königsberg, now called Kaliningrad, where the room was shown for a short time. As the war went on, people lost track of where the Amber Room was. It was last seen in 1945 when Königsberg was being bombed. Some people think the Amber Room was destroyed during these bombings, but others believe it was hidden somewhere during the war chaos and is still out there. Many people have tried to find the Amber Room over the years, but no one has found it yet. This mystery makes the Amber Room very interesting to many people around the world. To remember this beautiful room, a copy was made using old photos and descriptions. This took over 20 years and was finished in 2003. You can see this copy in the Catherine Palace today. An interesting fact about amber, the main material of the Amber Room, is that it can hold tiny pieces of plants or insects inside it for millions of years, almost like a natural time capsule. Number 14. Nazi Gold Train. Moving on to the story of the Nazi Gold Train, it is filled with mystery and excitement. During World War II, it was rumored that the Nazis loaded a train with gold, jewels, and other precious items they had taken from people during the war. This train is said to have disappeared somewhere in the mountains of Lower Silesia, now part of Poland. The legend goes that as the Soviet army was getting closer, the Nazis hid the train in a secret tunnel to keep their stolen treasures safe. This story has captured the imagination of many treasure hunters and historians who dream of finding the hidden train loaded with gold. Over the years, many people have searched for the Nazi gold train. They have used maps, old documents, and modern technology like ground-penetrating radar to try to locate the train. In 2015, 2 treasure hunters claimed they had found the train using this technology. Their claim made many people excited, and there was a big search with a lot of media attention. However, despite all the efforts, they didn't find the train. The truth about the Nazi gold train has never been confirmed. There's no solid evidence that the train ever existed, but the mystery continues to interest people. Everyone loves a good treasure hunt, and the idea of finding a hidden train filled with gold is very exciting. Many people think that even if the train is never found, the story itself is a fascinating part of history. It shows how far people will go to hide and protect what they value, and it keeps the spirit of adventure alive in the search for lost treasures. Number 13. Yamashita Treasure. Next we come to the Yamashita Treasure, which is named after General Tomoyuki Yamashita, who led the Japanese forces during World War II. According to legend, this treasure includes a massive collection of gold, jewels, and valuable artifacts that the Japanese army gathered from various countries in Southeast Asia during the war. The story goes that as the war was ending, the Japanese knew they couldn't keep their loot safe from the advancing Allied forces. So, General Yamashita ordered the treasure to be hidden in various caves, tunnels, and underground complexes in the Philippines. The hope was to keep it safe until after the war, when they could recover it. For many years, treasure hunters and adventurers have been drawn to the Philippines to search for the Yamashita treasure. Despite numerous expeditions and countless hours of searching, no one has ever found a significant part of the treasure. Some people claim to have found small amounts, but these finds have never been verified. In 1971, the Philippine government said they had found part of the Yamashita treasure, but the details were very unclear, and many questions remained. This has led some to believe that the treasure might be a myth, while others think it's still out there, hidden away. The mystery of the Yamashita treasure continues to be a topic of interest and speculation. Whether or not the treasure is real, the story highlights the lengths to which people will go in times of war to hide their wealth and the enduring human fascination with hidden treasures. It's a reminder of the mysteries that history can hold and the adventures that await those who seek to uncover them. Number 12. Recovery of stolen artworks. Now, you won't believe, during World War II, the Nazis stole thousands of artworks from museums, galleries, and private collections across Europe. This massive looting included paintings, sculptures, and other valuable pieces of art. After the war, many of these stolen artworks were missing, leading to a worldwide effort to find and return them to their rightful owners. This mission to recover stolen art is still active today. Governments, museums, and individuals work together, using historical records and modern technology to track down the missing pieces. Every now and then, a lost painting or sculpture is discovered in an attic, at an auction, or through a collector, which often makes headlines around the world. For instance, in 2012, a stash of over 1,400 artworks was found in the apartment of Cornelius Gerlit in Munich. Many of these artworks were suspected to have been looted by the Nazis. This discovery reopened many old wounds and reminded the world of the ongoing challenges in the recovery of stolen art. The process of returning these artworks can be complicated. It often involves legal battles and intricate research to prove ownership. Despite these challenges, each recovered piece is a victory for justice and history, helping to heal the scars left by the war. Interestingly, one of the most sought-after types of stolen artwork includes religious relics and manuscripts, which hold not only immense historical value but also deep spiritual significance for many communities. Number 11. Hidden Jewish artifacts in Lithuania. Onto Lithuania, a remarkable discovery was made beneath the ruins of the Great Synagogue of Vilna, once a major center of Jewish life and learning. During World War II, the synagogue was heavily damaged and eventually destroyed. However, before its destruction, some members of the Jewish community hid a collection of valuable artifacts and ritual objects within the synagogue's complex tunnel system. These hidden items included scrolls, prayer books, and other ceremonial objects that were buried to protect them from being destroyed or desecrated by the Nazis. The discovery of these artifacts many years later provides a poignant glimpse into the lives and resilience of the Jewish community during one of history's darkest times. The Great Synagogue of Vilna was not just a place of worship, but a significant cultural hub for the Jewish community in Eastern Europe. It housed one of the most important libraries and religious schools in the region until its destruction. Archaeologists and historians continue to study these artifacts, which offer invaluable insights into the history and culture of the Jewish people in Vilna. Each item tells a story of survival and resistance against immense odds. Interestingly, some of the ceremonial items found were made from precious metals and stones, which were not only religiously significant, but also reflected the high level of craftsmanship and artistry that was prevalent in the Jewish communities of that era. Number 10. USS Indianapolis wreckage. Moving on to the USS Indianapolis, which was a US Navy cruiser famous for its tragic sinking during the final days of World War II. After delivering critical parts for the atomic bomb that would later be dropped on Hiroshima, the ship was torpedoed by a Japanese submarine in July 1945. This event led to the greatest single loss of life at sea in the history of the US Navy. Of the 1,196 crew members on board, about 300 went down with the ship. The rest faced harrowing conditions in shark-infested waters, waiting for rescue without lifeboats or sufficient supplies. It took 4 days before they were accidentally discovered, which resulted in only 316 sailors and Marines being rescued. The location of the wreck remained a mystery for over 70 years. It wasn't until 2017 that an expedition financed by Paul Allen, co-founder of Microsoft, discovered the USS Indianapolis lying 18,000 feet below the surface in the Philippine Sea. This discovery provided some closure to survivors and the families of those who were lost, bringing renewed attention to this tragic chapter in naval history. The story of the USS Indianapolis highlights both the perils of war and the indomitable human spirit in the face of extreme adversity. A little known fact is that the ship was racing against time to deliver the atomic bomb components because they were part of a top secret mission that was crucial to ending the war quickly and reducing further loss of life. Number 9. Sinking of the Bismarck. Next up, we have the Bismarck, which was one of Nazi Germany's most powerful battleships, famous for its involvement in one of the most intense naval battles of World War II. Launched in 1939, the Bismarck was a formidable warship, equipped with some of the most advanced naval technology of the time. It was heavily armored and armed with a battery of powerful guns. In May 1941, the Bismarck embarked on its first and only combat mission, known as Operation Rheinübung. Its mission was to disrupt Allied shipping lanes in the Atlantic. However, the British Royal Navy quickly recognized the threat posed by the Bismarck and dispatched several vessels to intercept it. The chase culminated in a fierce battle where the Bismarck managed to sink HMS Hood, the pride of the British Navy, killing all but 3 of the 1,418 crew on board. This loss was a devastating blow to British morale and intensified their efforts to sink the Bismarck. Just days after sinking the Hood, the Bismarck was attacked by British torpedo planes, which damaged its rudder. This left the ship unable to maneuver effectively. The Royal Navy seized this opportunity and surrounded the Bismarck. After a relentless barrage, the Bismarck sank on May 27, 1941. The wreck of the Bismarck was not discovered until 1989, lying 15,719 feet beneath the surface of the North Atlantic. The discovery of the wreck provided valuable historical insights and confirmed many details about the final battle and sinking. Interestingly, the operation to find the Bismarck was led by Robert Ballard, the same oceanographer who discovered the Titanic. His success in locating the Bismarck only added to his fame as a pioneer in underwater exploration. Number 8. Operation Bernhard's counterfeit money. Now, as we move to the Operation Bernhard, do you know it was one of the most secretive and intriguing plots of World War II, executed by Nazi Germany with the goal of destabilizing the British economy? The plan was named after Bernhard Kruger, an SS officer who supervised the operation. The Nazis set up a special team made up of prisoners from concentration camps, skilled printers, typographers, and artists to produce high-quality counterfeit British pound notes. The operation started in 1942 and became one of the largest counterfeiting operations in history. The team worked in a secluded section of Sachsenhausen concentration camp, producing over £130 million worth of fake British currency. The quality of these counterfeit notes was so high that they were virtually indistinguishable from genuine currency. The Nazis planned to flood the British economy with these fake notes, hoping to cause significant inflation and economic instability. They used various means to distribute the counterfeit money, including dropping it over London by plane and laundering it through neutral countries. Despite the scale and potential impact of Operation Bernhard, the plan was ultimately not as disruptive as the Nazis had hoped. The British government took several measures to mitigate the effects, including changes in the design of their currency. The operation was eventually halted in 1945 as the Allies closed in on Nazi Germany. Many of the counterfeit notes were dumped into a lake in Austria, where they were discovered after the war. This find provided concrete evidence of the operation and added a fascinating chapter to the history of economic warfare. Operation Bernhard not only reflects the lengths to which the Nazis were willing to go in their war efforts, but also showcases the role of economic strategies in warfare. It remains a stark example of how finance can be used as a weapon of war. Number 7. Katyn Forest Mass Graves. Well, let's move to the Katyn Forest Massacre. It is one of the most sobering revelations of World War II, involving the systematic execution of thousands of Polish officers, intellectuals, and professionals by the Soviet NKVD, the predecessor of the KGB. This tragic event occurred in 1940 but remained shrouded in secrecy and misinformation for decades. The massacre was part of a larger Soviet effort to cripple Poland's ability to resist or re-establish itself as a nation by eliminating its leadership class. In the spring of 1940, approximately 22,000 Polish prisoners of war captured after the Soviet invasion of Poland were taken to various execution sites, the most infamous being the Katyn Forest near Smolensk, Russia. The truth about the massacre first came to light in 1943 when the Nazi forces, who had invaded the Soviet Union, discovered the mass graves in Katyn Forest. The Nazis publicized the discovery, hoping to drive a wedge between the Allies. However, the Soviet government denied responsibility, blaming the killings on the Nazis, a claim that many in the West initially accepted due to wartime alliances. It wasn't until the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991 that the Russian government acknowledged the NKVD's role in the massacre. Subsequent investigations and excavations have provided a clearer picture of the events and the scale of this atrocity. Archaeological digs in and around the Katyn Forest have uncovered the remains of the victims, many still with their hands bound and bullet holes in their skulls. Personal items such as letters, photographs, and religious symbols were also found, offering a poignant glimpse into the lives of the men who were executed. The Katyn Forest massacre remains a potent symbol of the brutal political repressions of the Soviet regime and a painful historical memory that still impacts Polish-Russian relations. The recovery of the victims' remains and their personal belongings has allowed many families to finally mourn their lost loved ones, bringing a measure of closure to a tragic chapter of World War II history. Number 6, USS Yorktown. And then there is the USS Yorktown. That was an American aircraft carrier that played a crucial role during World War II, especially in the famous Battle of Midway. This battle was a turning point in the war in the Pacific. Sadly, the Yorktown was severely damaged and sunk by Japanese torpedoes in 1942, just months after its heroic actions at Midway. For many years, the exact location of the Yorktown's wreckage was unknown. It lay hidden deep in the ocean, holding the secrets of its final battle. Then, in 1998, a major discovery happened. The ship was found by an underwater explorer named Robert Ballard, who is also famous for discovering the Titanic. The Yorktown was located more than 3 miles beneath the ocean surface near Midway Atoll. The discovery of the USS Yorktown was not just important because it found a lost ship. It helped historians and the public better understand what happened during those critical moments in the battle. Exploring the wreck showed how the ship was damaged and gave clues about the final hours of the Yorktown and its crew. Seeing the Yorktown underwater is a reminder of the bravery of those who served on it and the fierce battles that were fought during the war. The ship is like a frozen moment in time, resting silently in the deep ocean as a monument to the past. An interesting detail about the Yorktown is that even after it was damaged, the crew kept fighting, showing incredible courage. They managed to save parts of the ship from sinking for a crucial period, which allowed many sailors to escape. This act of bravery is still celebrated today as a powerful example of teamwork and determination in the face of danger. Number 5. Hitler's Bunker. Now coming up is the Hitler's Bunker, officially known as the Führer Bunker, was a hidden underground complex located beneath Berlin, Germany. It was here that Adolf Hitler spent the last weeks of World War II as the battle raged above ground and the war drew to its grim conclusion. The bunker was built in 1936 as part of a larger air raid shelter system. Over the years, it was expanded and fortified, becoming a vast subterranean complex with multiple rooms and thick concrete walls designed to withstand bombings. It was equipped with all the necessities to sustain life for extended periods, including bedrooms, offices, and communication facilities. During the final days of the war, as Allied forces closed in on Berlin, Hitler retreated to this bunker. It was in this underground fortress that he made his last public appearance and eventually took his own life in April 1945. Shortly after Hitler's suicide, the bunker was discovered by Soviet troops who had taken control of the city. The exact events that occurred inside the bunker during those last days have been a subject of intense curiosity and speculation. Various accounts from those who were present paint a picture of chaos and desperation as the Nazi regime crumbled. After the war, the Führer bunker was largely destroyed and buried under the rubble of Berlin. Its exact location was kept secret for many years to prevent it from becoming a pilgrimage site for neo-Nazis. Today, the site is unremarkably marked in the middle of a residential area, with very little to indicate the historical significance of what lies beneath. An interesting fact about the bunker is that despite its historical importance, much of its structure and layout remain a mystery. Over the years, floods and demolition have erased many of its features, leaving historians and archaeologists to piece together its design and function largely from eyewitness accounts and a few surviving plans. Number 4. SS Garsopper's silver cargo. Next up is the SS Garsopper. It was a British cargo steamship that met a dramatic end during World War II, leading to one of the most significant underwater treasure recoveries in history. Launched in 1919, the SS Garsopper was enlisted during the war to support the Allied war effort, carrying essential cargo including a massive amount of silver bullion. In 1941, while on a journey from India to Britain, loaded with over 200 tons of silver meant to boost Britain's war treasury, the Garsopper was struck by a torpedo from a German U-boat in the Atlantic. The ship quickly sank to the seabed, taking with it a vast fortune and the lives of many of its crew members. Only one crew member survived the harrowing ordeal, making it one of the war's tragic maritime losses. The wreck of the SS Garsopper lay undiscovered for more than 70 years, resting at a depth of nearly 15,000 feet beneath the North Atlantic. In 2011, an American deep-sea exploration company, Odyssey Marine Exploration, located the shipwreck after a lengthy search. The following year, they launched a salvage operation that was both complex and technologically advanced. The operation successfully recovered approximately 110 tons of silver bullion, valued at over $200 million. This recovery stands as one of the deepest and largest precious metal recoveries in maritime history. The project not only highlighted the capabilities of modern salvage techniques, but also brought to light the untold stories of wartime shipping and the risks taken by merchant fleets during the war. The silver recovered from the SS Garsopper continues to be a reminder of the vital role that maritime trade played in wartime economies and the ongoing allure of sunken treasures hidden beneath the sea. Interestingly, the silver was minted into commemorative coins and bars, linking the past directly to collectors and history enthusiasts today. Number 3. U-505 submarine. Now, let's jump to the U-505. It is a German submarine that holds a unique place in World War II history. It was captured by the United States Navy in 1944, marking the first time the US Navy had seized an enemy vessel at sea since the War of 1812. This event provided the Allies with valuable intelligence and was a significant morale booster. Commissioned in 1941, the U-505 was part of Germany's formidable U-boat fleet, tasked with disrupting Allied shipping in the Atlantic. However, its service was plagued with problems, including mechanical failures and repeated attacks from the Allies. Despite these challenges, the U-505 managed to sink 8 Allied ships, showcasing the threat these submarines posed. The capture of the U-505 was dramatic. The US Navy, using intelligence from decrypted German messages, set a trap for the submarine near West Africa. As part of Operation Teardrop, Navy aircraft and ships attacked the U-505, damaging it and forcing its crew to abandon ship. A quick-thinking boarding party from the USS Guadalcanal then secured the submarine, capturing codebooks, machines, and other intelligence materials. After its capture, the U-505 was towed secretly to Bermuda, where it was studied extensively by the Allies. The information gained played a crucial role in improving anti-submarine tactics and technologies. Post-war, the U-505 faced the possibility of being used for target practice and sinking. However, thanks to efforts by Admiral Daniel Gallery, who had overseen its capture, it was preserved and donated to the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago in 1954. Moving the submarine to the museum was a monumental task, involving complex logistics and engineering. Today, the U-505 is a major exhibit, offering visitors a rare glimpse into life aboard a World War II submarine and serving as a vivid reminder of the war's naval battles. The submarine's capture not only marked a turning point in naval warfare, but also cemented its place as a significant historical artifact. Interestingly, the U-505 is now a popular educational tool, providing insight into the technology and tactics of submarine warfare during World War II. Number 2. Spitfire planes in Burma. And do you know during World War II, the Spitfire plane became a symbol of British courage? It was fast, agile, and loved by pilots. There's a fascinating story that at the end of the war, several brand new Spitfires were buried in Burma, now Myanmar, to keep them safe. They were packed in crates and hidden underground at various airfields. The story goes that as the war was ending, the Allies had too many planes and not enough space or use for them back in Britain. Instead of leaving these Spitfires in Burma, where they might get into the wrong hands or just rot away, they decided to bury them. The hope was that someday, if needed, these planes could be dug up and used again. For many years, treasure hunters and historians have been intrigued by this tale. They've dreamed of finding these Spitfires, preserved just like they were during the war. In 2012, this legend got so popular that a big search began. A British farmer who loves aviation convinced the government of Myanmar to let him dig near some old airfields. Despite all this excitement and digging with modern equipment, no Spitfires have been found. Some people now think that maybe the story was just a wartime rumor or a tall tale that grew bigger over time. What keeps people so interested, even though no planes have been found, is the idea of discovering a piece of history, hidden away and perfectly preserved. Even if the buried Spitfires might just be a myth, the story itself is a reminder of the incredible events and decisions made during World War II. Number 1. Hoxne Hoard. Next on the list is the Hoxne Hoard. It is not a tale from World War II, but it involves a fascinating discovery made by a World War II veteran, which connects it to the era. The story begins with a retired farmer named Eric Laws in Suffolk, England. In 1992, while searching for a lost hammer with his metal detector, Laws stumbled upon something far more significant. Thousands of gold and silver coins, jewelry, and valuable silver spoons. This treasure, now known as the Hoxne Hoard, dates back to the late Roman Empire around the 4th and 5th centuries. It is one of the largest and richest collections of Roman treasures ever found in Britain. The hoard was likely buried by a wealthy Roman family to hide it from raiders or during a time of crisis, and then never retrieved. When Laws realized what he had found, he reported the discovery to local authorities, which led to a full archaeological excavation. The find was declared a treasure trove, and Laws and the landowner received a reward equal to the hoard's full value, which was assessed to be over £1.75 million. The Hoxne Hoard has given historians and archaeologists valuable insights into the wealth and craftsmanship of the late Roman period in Britain. It includes over 15,000 coins, dozens of silver tableware pieces, and gold jewelry that showcases intricate designs, all of which suggest that their owners were of high social status. Today, the Hoxne Hoard is on display at the British Museum, where it continues to fascinate and educate visitors about Roman Britain. The accidental discovery by Eric Laws, a man just looking for his lost tool, reminds us that history can be hidden just beneath our feet, waiting to be uncovered.